John is 42 years old. He has quite a tragic past that left powerful emotional scars. Not surprisingly, John lost his wife and daughter when he was 37. His wife Amanda was 32, and Bebe, the young girl, was only 4. They died in a car crash. John was driving and only broke 2 legs, but his daughter died instantly. His wife was taken to the hospital and was in a coma for 8 months, and she finally passed away. John was a successful lawyer before the tragedy, but he couldn't keep up with his career anymore. It was too demanding and too stressful. And so, John abandoned it. Since then, he kept jumping from one temporary job to another. Being alone and depressed, he didn't need to make enormous amounts of money anyway. Since John didn't want to be around people whenever he could, he would take jobs that would allow him to work in relative solitude, or at least something that wouldn't require him to interact too much with other people. John found his dark dream job as a night security guard at a warehouse. Besides rats, no one else was there. He had to patrol such enormous facilities, extensive and vast corridors, and rooms. The warehouse stored primarily massive vehicles used in construction. But there were also a couple of helicopters, and even an aeroplane. The lights were feeble and eerie, but still decent enough for John to see what was going on. Until one night, when the warehouse lights went completely off. This is just great. I guess it had to happen sooner or later. Life is killing me, John said to himself. Fortunately, he always had his flashlight with him, and that was still working. John realised he didn't even know how and where to fix the lights, but he was still searching for more hope of finding the problem's source. As the unlucky security guard patrolled the unwelcoming galleries of the creepy warehouse, he listened to some sounds that were not familiar. At first, he thought that someone had broken into the warehouse. Maybe a thief cut off the light system. Or worse, more than one thief, John thought to himself, feeling afraid. John was now standing in complete silence, trying to listen carefully. Faint whispers echoed in the darkness, just out of reach. John listened close enough. He thought he heard a voice call his name from far away. He felt stuck in an endless void, as if nothing around him was real. His skin tingled with fear and uneasiness, every nerve on edge for any sign of movement or life. John, John. The voice whisper was now clear enough. It was coming from one of the warehouse's big rooms. John was confused. A part of him didn't want to go there, but on the other hand, that was his job. Slowly he approached the room. John wasn't completely helpless either. He had a nightstick that the warehouse company provided him to use as a weapon if necessary. "Who's there? Identify yourself. I have a weapon with me, and I will use it if necessary," John shouted, feeling the courage of the adrenaline pumping inside of him. He was now getting closer to the room. "John, don't be afraid. It will make sense. Come inside," the voice whispered. It was the voice of a female, and for some reason John felt safe and comfortable. When he finally got inside the room, the lights were switched back on, and John couldn't believe his own eyes. "What? You? But it's not possible. I'm dreaming." John's reaction was understandable, to say the least, because in front of him was Amanda, his wife, who was supposed to be dead. "Hello, John. Yes, it's me, Amanda. And no, you're not dreaming," she said, approaching John. "But how?" John asked. "I'll explain it to you later, John. Won't you hold me again? After so many years. I missed you, dear. So much." "So did I, Amanda." John and Amanda made love right there in the room. They fell asleep in each other's arms, When John woke up, it was already morning, and he could hear the birds singing outside, and the first rays of warm sunshine were there touching his face. But there are no windows in this warehouse room, John whispered to himself. And as he opened his eyes, John was about to be surprised once again. He was not in the warehouse. He was in his own bedroom. His first reaction was to see, and to feel if Amanda was still there. With a great smile of relief, John saw his wife sleeping next to him. Happy and excited, even though he didn't understand a thing about what was happening since the previous night, emotions became stronger than reason. John was now kissing and hugging Amanda, which eventually woke her up. "Oh, good morning to you too. You are in a good mood today, John," Amanda said. "Of course I am. You're here again. You're still here," John replied. "I'm here again? What do you mean? I think you're still dreaming, dear." "What time is it? 10 AM already? Fortunately it's Sunday. I'll have to check on Bebe. She's still asleep." Amanda's words were puzzling John, but in a good way. "Bebe? Oh my." John got up from the bed as quickly as possible and ran to his daughter's old bedroom. As he did so, going through the house's corridors, he realized that everything was back to normal, and normal meaning the past, before the accident. John was starting to doubt his own brain, but once again he didn't care as he entered his daughter's bedroom. And there she was, sleeping, safe, in peace. John's tears were running down his face as he could hear Bebe breathing and see her body moving gently as she was doing so. John kissed Bebe, trying his best not to wake her up. Meanwhile, his wife followed John to the daughter's bedroom. "John, what is wrong with you? You are acting strange," Amanda whispered to him. "I know. Let's talk outside." John instructed Amanda to follow him into the living room. They sat on the couch. "Okay, I know this will sound like the most insane thing you've ever heard. I'm confused like hell, but there's no other alternative. I really need to tell you what kind of reality I've been living, at least in my head." John then proceeded to explain and describe to his wife everything that had happened, as far as he remembered and believed to have experienced. How Amanda and Bebe died in a car accident, and how he abandoned his career as a lawyer, jumping from one temporary job to another. And finally, how he and Amanda were reunited in the warehouse. "But, John, none of that happened." "Oh my goodness, that's some dream you had. You need some therapy. There's something wrong with your brain, dear," Amanda said. "I guess so. But the time, it passed. I know some dreams can produce the illusion that we lived several days with less than 10 hours of sleep. But so many years. Years, yes. Tell me, Amanda, what year is it today?" John asked. "What year it is? You don't know?" "It's 2023, Amanda answered. "Precisely like in my parallel reality. It's the same year, and you and our daughter were supposed to have died in 2017. "Enough with that morbid talk, John. Please. Especially because it involves our daughter as well. It's a good thing that today is Sunday, so you can rest and try to pull yourself together. Maybe you should take a couple of days off from work," Amanda said. "From work? As a lawyer, of course," John said. "Yes, that would be it, dear. Rest is the last thing I can do. I need to open my folders and see what's going on with my life. My real life, that is. Also as a lawyer." John spent the rest of the day in the company of his wife and daughter, while studying the cases in which he was supposed to be working. Step by step as hours went by, John became convinced he was back to normal, and that he'd just experienced a massive delirious dream. John was beyond happy. His family was with him, both Amanda and Bebe alive and well. Weeks passed since John returned from the warehouse dream. He was now seeing a psychotherapist, Dr. Imperoli. He was truly fascinated when hearing John's detailed description of his experience. John was still calling it a parallel reality. The brain is more powerful and mysterious than we can imagine, John. There is still so much to learn and unlock. Science itself is continuously puzzled by such wonder of evolution. I'm glad to see that you're accepting that. The medication is also helping, yes? The doctor said. Yes, doctor, to everything you said. I'm doing well, and the medication does help. Thank you. Excellent. I'll see you next week then, John. 1 year passed, and John barely remembered his simulated dream. John was celebrating his birthday with his wife and daughter. A simple but nice family dinner, with enough cake for the three of them. Before he fell asleep lying next to Amanda, he kissed her and said, "I love you, I'm so happy." But Amanda was already sleeping. The next morning, John woke up feeling great. It was a working day. Amanda wasn't in bed. She was probably getting Bebe ready for school. But the house was so silent. In a panic, remembering his recent trauma, John got up from the bed as fast as he could. No one else but him was in the house. He tried to call Amanda, but his cell phone wasn't working. He decided to get help from anyone, so he went outside. No one was there. No cars, no people. "Hello, hello," John shouted. He knocked and rang on people's doors, and no one answered. There were no birds or any other animals, even though it was a sunny day. John spent the rest of the morning walking from street to street. He went to a shopping mall, and then to a fast food restaurant. No one was there. John felt a desperate insanity taking over him. Could this be another dream, John said to himself? But no, it wasn't. John was finally caught in a universe malfunction, where time and space and the laws of physics don't exist. He couldn't tell what was real and what wasn't anymore, if his wife and daughter even existed or ever existed, or who or what he, himself, actually was. In his head, days went by. But in fact, there were no changes. It was always a sunny day. It would always be a sunny day. Completely mad, John tried to end it all. But every time he did so, he simply woke up back in bed. Again and again. He didn't need to eat and he didn't need to drink. Nothing ever changed. Trapped in this forgotten cosmic error, John was condemned to exist forever. Immortality was now John's curse. Fortunately, John liked to read, because he had all the timeless freedom to read every single book that was ever written. Of course, he had to learn some new languages too. Step by step, John got used to his new existential system. He even learned to love it. No more people, no more needs. Just a peaceful, vast, eternal solitude.
Subscribe today, or beware.